There is Celine Alvarado in good spirits for her interview, but has she got the legs? It's not been the best start to the season so far. She did have a third place in Flamanville. She had a knee injury before that. She was sick last time out. Can she put in the performance today? She's certainly feeling quite relaxed, you can see that. 3 minutes until we get going. Here's Denise Betzemer. Podium here twice. Alongside her, Inge van der Heide. European champion. Marion Norbert Ribeiro. Helping with passing on a jacket. This is the World Cup leader, Aniek van Alphen. There's the choice. Lots going with Limus or baby Limus tyres. There's Manon Bakker, always smiling on the start. 6th last time out. Second row of the grid, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. Under 23 World Cup leader, Leonie Bentveld. There are 19 under 23s in this field. Alongside her, Amandine Fouquenet, who was the podium finisher in Flamanville. Lucinda Brand, 2 wins out of 3 so far. And the final rider on the grid, Julie Brouwers. Thumbs up from Puck Pizza. There she is. She's back as well. She will add even more spice to this race. First World Cup of the season for Puck Pizza. Jolanda Neff, can she find her way through the traffic? 30 seconds until Namur is underway. We're on red. It's time to wait for green. Look at Puck Pizza's face, wow. The start then, and it's all uphill. And Inge van der Heide has had a very good start. This gives you a great idea of just what this race is like. Now you kick up, and you have to have good legs. Amandine Fouquenet, the French champion, goes to the front, decides that she wants to take this on yet again, right from the front. Behind her, Inge van der Heide. Lucinda Brand just dropping back a little bit, but the French champion has gone off like a rocket. A little bit further back. Let's just see where some of these riders end up. So Fouquenet has already taken a little bit of an advantage over the top of this climb. Very impressive indeed. Well, this is a real battleground. Dates back to Roman times, the citadel. Part of the Meuse citadels. There are 4 of them, one in Liège, one in Huy, one in Dinan, and one here in Namur. The French champion. She looks very, very comfortable. Aniek van Alphen just behind her. Then it's Inge van der Heide. Moving up is Lucia Bramati, the Italian rider. No Sara Casasola here this time. No Shireen van Anrooy. Bramati's had a very, very good start. There she is in the yellow, wearing number 35. Number 8 behind her is Leonie Bentveld. Then it's Aniek van Alphen, who's just dropped back a little bit. French champion, we know that she is struggling for a team for next season. Julia Perry is in 2nd place now. 2 French riders at the head of this Namur Citadel Cross. There is Jolanda Neff, She's already making her way through the field. Right behind Denise Betsimer. And a great advantage from the French rider. Already 4 seconds. Straight into the pits for Lucia Bramati. On the left-hand side, looking for her pit crew. The bike. Drops that bike there. They'll get that cleaned up. She must have had a problem because she was going very, very well. There's 2 French riders. Julia Jerry, then Brand, Inge van der Heide, 2 World Cup leaders. Puck Pizza, they're the Dutch champion. Here's the start. Pizza had a slower start than we might have expected there. Brand has got herself going now. Celia Jerry, Bentveld, Van der Heide, Van Alphen, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado wearing number 7. Looks a lot more comfortable in the early stages of this race than she did last week. There's Sydney McGill, a Canadian rider. He's in 8th place. This course is so tricky with its constant little bits of downhill, some adverse camber, as you can see here. Make a mistake, you have a terrible time. To pick your line, you have to think about every single line you take. You've got to keep the bike in those grooves. Very tricky indeed. What is flying? She's already got herself in front of Kristina Zemanova, who was 6th in Tabor. Onto the cobbles now. Van Alphen is trying to move up in that red and white jersey. Pizza finding these early stages a little bit tricky. There is Jolanda Neff in that white jersey with the green and the orange sleeve. For some bike rider, isn't she? She said this week, it's in your culture. You don't find this anywhere else in the world. The experience, the ambience, the cheering from the crowd. She's thinking about aiming for the World Cyclo-cross Championships. Jolanda Neff's last World Cup was in Fayetteville and Waterloo in the USA in 2021. She has ridden a couple of cyclocrosses since then, but not at World Cup level. And Brand now kicks. Lucinda Brand piling on the pressure. She's won this race already on 4 occasions. She won it in 18-19, 19-20, 2021 seasons and 21-22 seasons. Brand loves this course. Alvarado not having the best of starts again. She's won the last 2 times here in Namur. Brand has attacked hard now. 52 podium finishes in a row, and she's absolutely flying now. Buchanan needs to try and stay with her. Speed of Amandine Buchanan. Looks good as she makes her way up there. And Alpha coming back a little bit. There's Jolanda Neff now into 4th place on the left-hand side. Brand looks very, very focused. End of lap number 1 for Lucinda Brand. .649 lap. This course is slightly shorter than we have seen before. The course is now 2.5 kilometers. We have seen the Namur course up to 3.3 at times. Start to finish is 2.3 kilometers in length. The pit comes at 130 meters after the line. We go past that now, and then we go past it again at 1,130 meters. Onto the tarmac, back onto the cobbles for Brand. French champion refusing to give in here. She's really driven Fouquenet with trying to get two things. One, a contract, and some payback for the sponsors who've stayed with her. Brand just with a huge work rate like right now. Onto the climb though. Fouquenet likes this climb, doesn't she? See the way she's riding, coming back steadily to the wheel of Lucinda Brand. And Jolanda Neff, as you would expect, and Puck Pizza starting to make some inroads. Everybody fighting for all they're worth. There's Denise Betsema. She's finished on the podium here before on a couple of occasions. Well, that opening lap was pretty rapid by Lucinda Brand. Her skills, you can just see the way she takes the lines, how she finds that little bit of extra speed. Steady down at all, does she? Sprints her way up the next section. She doesn't want anybody coming back to her. The top 10 on that first lap. Brand, Fouquenet, Pizza, Van Alpha, Jolanda Neff, Inga van der Heide, Leonie Bentveld, Christina Zemanova, Celia Giry, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. Fast downhill for the leader. These riders behind are not letting Brand open this gap. 4 seconds to second place. They really need to push on a little bit. This is Inga van der Heide in the European Champions colours, that white jersey with the blue around the middle. Jolanda Neff now trying to come back on the wheel of Annemiek van Alphen. She is in 5th place, Olympic champion in cross-country on mountain bike, Jolanda Neff. 5 times the world champion of mountain biking. And gets onto the steps. Fouquenet is almost on that back wheel. Look at the speed of Puck Pizza's legs as she gets up that climb. It's physically so demanding, Namur. Last downhill section for Brand. Gets her way round that turn. It's really difficult to kind of understand how steep this drop-off is. It's so rooted, isn't it? You can see there. When you stand at the side of that, it's so steep. Something you really don't want to be riding down. French champion, Dutch champion, Olympic mountain bike champion, all in a row. And has she gone too early here, or is she just going to stamp her authority on the entire race? As always in Namur, the frites are being sold, the beer is flowing. It is a massive weekend. Jolanda Neff was talking about the atmosphere, as I mentioned earlier on. She said the spectators here are in a holiday mood. I come for the atmosphere, my dad comes for the beer. Oh, and a problem for Alvarado. Again, cobbled section is really tricky. Pizza using her skills to very, very good effect. Look at the way she's riding that section behind as she tries to come across to Brand. You want to try and be as high as possible on that adverse camber for as long as possible. If you slow down, you have real issues. Look at Yolanda Neff. How easy that little section was. And the Hyder having to use that right leg to kick her way through. To this horrible little standing section where it's climbing up the tree roots that have created kind of steps. The legs are searing at this moment. Pizza. There's the time across that off camber. You can see there that visibly Neff looks better, but in reality it's Celine Alvarado who's going quickest through that section. Pizza edging away closer and closer to Lucinda Brand. Still the riders behind are refusing to give in here. Very tricky to be on your own like this. End of lap number 2, 4.8 kilometers has been covered. Brand goes through. It's a much more consolidated lap now. Means the fans get to see you much more. Next lap that time was a 7:27, way slower than lap number 1. 3 seconds slower than Puck Pizza. She's 9 seconds ahead as far as the lap is concerned. Coming up in 7th place, Celine Alvarado with Leonie Bentfeld on her wheel. Fastest lap of the race so far, Puck Pizza, 7:24.9 in terms of actual laps. 0.23 kilometers an hour. Opening lap a little bit shorter because of the way that we configure that run-in. So that's why Brand's second lap is slower. As we do the entire loop that time, we take off a little bit of distance for the start, which is unusual in cyclocross. It's normally a longer opening lap. Pizza trying to keep the pressure on. Her aim is to try and win the World Championships in Hulst. Thousands of people. Whenever you're here, if you ever get the chance, it's very well worth it. Namur, the night before the racing, it just feels very festive. Nice little restaurants, everybody's out and about, and then you have the Citadel Cross the next day. This fight for second, third place is pretty close, isn't it? We're gonna have a 7-lap race. As we've mentioned before, the commissaires, the judging panel, they look at the end of lap number 2, take an average, work it out, and then tell us how long the actual race is going to be. The women need to race as close to 50 minutes as possible. This looks like it might be well over that 50 minutes. So Brand kicks around that corner. She seems to be starting to build a little bit of a better lead now. 16 seconds ahead. Has anybody got it in the legs to get back across? If you'd like to be in touch today, @AntMcCrossan is where you can get hold of me. Don't forget to follow @UCI_cycle on social media as well. Brand, 52 podium finishes in a row. And right now, she looks to be extending that as far as this race is concerned. So far, there's a bit of a procession. Oh, a little slide there from Pizza. French champion still having a good race. Dean Fouquet is whoa. Bit of the revelation of this season. I would also add Annick van Alphen to that in third place here. But the French champion has been the rider who we've certainly seen at the head of these races. The concentration on the face of Lucinda Brand. Down to the bottom of that section. Onto the more cobbled section now. Pizza concentrating well. That's one thing training for cyclocross, it's another thing racing it. So she'll start to feel how the course is. She may just be lacking that little bit of race speeds. Pizza's still there in the background. She's refusing to give in. That gap is 20 seconds. So different today to other days that we've been here in Namur. We think back to times where we've seen riders almost hypothermic with the cold. Up here, you are right up on the top of the hill, so if the wind blows across here, it's absolutely freezing cold. Population of Namur, just over 110,000 people. Brand being driven on today. We know after last week how emotional she was. Her mother is not well at all. There's Neff in the background, taking our way across. And Van der Heide coming to the end of that section now. Annick van Alphen's decided, let's try and close this gap if we can. So a little bit of an attack from the World Cup leader. And these two drive each other on to come back to Lucinda Brand. Natalie Rochette goes through. A little bit of a fall for one rider. Was Vervloet, sitting right in the middle of the track here, which is not really good news. We just saw Magali Rochette go through. A little bit further down today as Lucinda Brand goes through. 7.3 kilometers completed, 4 laps to go. 7:25 lap, 2 seconds faster than the lap before. Fans of Magali Rochette, she's in 29th place right now, 2 minutes 39. 4 laps to go for the leader. Now this week, Nagli sent me a very, really comprehensive cyclocross book. If you're looking for a book which tells you, it's a bit of a mix actually, as we see Yolanda Neff coming through here in 6th place. So this book is called Fever. It's written by Magali Rochette, and it tells you about the unexpected lessons and the story of chasing your dreams. It's a bit of a memoir of her career, but it's also a bit of a guidebook. So there's lots of practical bits of information if you're trying to pursue a goal. And if you're a cyclocross rider, a budding cyclocross rider, then it's a definite read, because there's loads of little tips. So she talks about her career and moments of her career, but then she'll go into, for example, one section on tyres, and what happens about tyre pressures, and things about building your toolbox, and a little bit of mental technique as well. Setting goals, the food that you should think about eating. So many different tips. So if you are wanting to learn a little bit more, Magali Rochette's book is certainly worth a little bit of a look. And I've picked out little bits of it so far, and it's a fantastic read, and it's also really good from the point of view of giving you life lessons as well, straight from a world-class athlete. This is Annick van Alphen, now at 30 seconds. Brand is crushing everyone now. Pieter's dropping away a little. Just bear in mind there's 11 points between Annick van Alphen and Lucinda Brand, so if she finished here, she would hold on to that World Cup lead. Top 10 at the moment. Brand leads by 27 seconds now from Annick van Alphen. Whoa, a fall for the leader. Just to get back on the bike quickly though. 36 seconds now to Puck Pizza. The French champion, Amandine Fouquenet, is in 4th at 40 seconds. Inge van der Heide in 5th. The Dutch rider, the European champion, at 41. Yolanda Neff, the Swiss rider, at 53 in 6th. And it's Leonie Bentveld at 110 in 7th place. Celine Alvarado at 119 in 8th. Christina Zemanova 9th. Amandine Muller, the French rider, in 10th place. Other riders, Sydney McGill in 16th place, into the pits for Brand, making sure after that fall that the bike is okay. Anna Kay, the British rider, in 20th. Manon Buckerdown in 21st, not really her course today. Lydia Cusack, the American, in 27th. Magali Rochette in 29th for Canada. There are still 48 riders on the course. Brand into that next section. Absolutely dominant today, Lucinda Brand. Whoa, 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 whoa. Annick van Alphen holding that well, didn't she? She's starting to shift here. She looks across. Now, Brand's had a bike change, and that's going to help Annick van Alphen a little bit. Brand starting to force. She's got to build her lead back now. Van Alphen feels that she's got a chance here. She's going to force it. And comes back down to the harder surface at the bottom. And she's downhill. It's that very, very easy. Almost made a mistake before. Back to 17 seconds now. French champion still with a chance of a podium finish again. Now we know that we've seen on this course riders crack while they're in the lead. Mentally it's tough, physically it's so demanding in Namur, and these camera shots do not give you the full story of how steep these climbs are. Peaks are starting to suffer. Brand through this adverse camber section, staying as high as possible. That bike just bouncing around underneath her. The bike's wanting to do one thing, she's got to let the bike glide. If you find that bike too much, you have all sorts of problems. Second place rider. Third place is now the French rider. And trying to find her footing up those steps. And Alpha Caesar on the other side of the track. Isn't it amazing how a leader's jersey can just transform the whole mindset of a bike rider? That's what we're seeing in Aniek van Alphen right now. She wasn't the name on everybody's lips at the start of the season to be the World Cup leader. Now she's got that jersey, she does not want to give it up. Beautiful shots here of Brand. That bike is bouncing. The end of lap number 4. .747 lap there for Lucinda Brand. Seconds down, Aniek van Alphen. She rode a 7:39 lap then, 8 seconds faster than Brand. And Aniek van Alphen just checking that tyre. Has she got a puncture? And she's already passed the pits. We'll keep an eye on that back wheel. She was just having a look at it. If so, she's got a kilometre to ride. Seems like she's okay. She just felt that that tyre wasn't quite right. And there's the gap between them. This rider is refusing to give in. This is an impressive performance. Aniek van Alphen is looking strong now in the second phase of this race. Here's Pizza and Amandine Fouquet, the French champion, goes to the front again. Pizza's having one of those days, isn't she, where she's just having to hang on. Let's run through the top places for you. Brand leads from Aniek van Alphen, then it's Fouquet, then it's Pizza, then it's Inge van der Heide, Jolanda Neff, Leonie Bentveld, Christina Zemanova, then it's Alvarado, the double winner here, then it's Amandine Muller. Lovely little camera shot that, isn't it? When you work your way downhill and they go very close to it, positioned static on the side of the track. He's looking for a little bit more speed. In terms of the fastest lap, Pizza's still got the fastest lap, a 7:24.9. Brand is the second fastest. On lap number 2, she was 0.1 of a second slower than Puck Pizza. Then it's Aniek van Alphen. Her average speed just a touch under 20 kilometers an hour. I'm wondering if the World Cup leader is going to come into the pits here. Judging by the fact she looked like she was worried about that tyre. It's our third place rider. Pizza checks over her shoulder. French rider just taking a gel on board, which is something we see her doing a lot. She really thinks about her nutrition in these races. And make sure she keeps on top of it. Brand firing away downhill. This is lap number 5. Big drop off for Aniek van Alphen that time. The foot is out of the pedals. The brakes are on as she reaches the bottom and she gets through the corner safely. Brand seems to be building her lead again. Back up towards 23 seconds. Well, I hope you're enjoying Namur. Big day ahead. And there's the gap visibly. The French champion, having taken that gel on board, got some renewed energy. She's starting to go away from Puck Pizza again. Brand fighting the bike through that section. It's those little touches of pink on the ground. They show you where the really dodgy routes are. Just to make sure you don't hit one of those very, very hard. The crowd urging on this amazing champion. Big gap now, opening up. Oh, Puck Pizza having to lean over there. This cross has been ridden for women since 2009-2010 season. It was first won by Daphne van der Brand. Marianne Vos won it in 2011. Katie Compton won it 2 years running. Katarina Nash has won it twice. It's a big name race, this one. You need to be really strong and right on your game. Nikki Brameyer won it in 2015-16 season. Evie Richards has won it as well. Not many women have been able to stand on the top step of the podium here in Namur. Brando is looking for a 5th victory in Namur. Across the line there at the end of lap number 5. 7:29 laps, so she slowed right down on lap 4, and now she's accelerated again. Van Alphen's just ridden a 7:38 lap, so they've kind of yo-yoed between the two of them. Here comes the French rider, looking for yet another podium in the World Cup. Goes across the line at 49 seconds now in third place. 7:46 lap for Amandine Fouquet. Brand has 2 laps left. I don't see we're going to get any lap records now. Pizza stamping on those pedals through that turn. It's a race situation. The top riders right now, Lucinda Brand from the Netherlands, Aniek van Alphen in second, the French rider Amandine Fouquet in third, Puck Pizza, the Dutch rider in fourth, Dutch rider Inge van der Heide in fifth, Jolanda Neff, the Swiss rider in sixth, then it's Leonie Bentveld, the Dutch rider in seventh, Christina Zemanova from Czechia in eighth, Amandine Muller in ninth, and Celia Giry in 10th. Good day for the French. Also, Elaine Clausel is in 12th place. The French cyclocross riders, 4 of them in the top 12. They're being maybe inspired by this rider. Puck Pizza trying to come back across. She's not returned with fireworks, Puck Pizza, has she? We would have expected her maybe to be up there with the likes of Brand, but coming off a training camp and everything that goes with it, sometimes it just takes you a little bit of time to get going. Brand downhill, a little bit of a left-hand turn there again. Oh, problem on that turn. Maybe making too many mistakes in the front. Particularly on this course, because like that, when you make a mistake, you can come to an absolute standstill. And if Van Alphen sees Brand in front of her, she's going to really try and close in. Good section here for Brand. Back onto the centre. There's like a big car park almost in the middle of Namur, just in front of the citadel itself. We kind of race our way through there, past all the hospitality. Over on the far left-hand side is where all the frites vans are. Well, the frites and mayonnaise generally is the food of choice. And it's normally in the centre, right in that white tent you can see on the far side, a massive white tent. A big party going on. Kind of hear the music in the background, can't you? Well, it comes from that tent. Fouquet goes through. The French rider now consolidating her third place. Brand is not giving anyone an opportunity today, not a chance. She's taken the race by the scruff of the neck and given nobody an opportunity to see the race again. She is just riding her way away off the front. As always, the bells are being rung, the horns are out. Everybody urging these riders on. Brand using that power on this uphill section. Now for downhill. That gap is growing, isn't it? See just how far away she is. Bianchi announcing, as we just saw Fouquet's bike, that they are going to be sponsoring Bahrain Victorious next season. A new collaboration on the roads. And just trying to find some sort of traction up that hill. Covered in mud, even although everyone's saying it's pretty dry out here. Namur never feels like it's totally dried out. You've always got a little bit of mud. It's kind of such a damp, cold place up here on the top of the hill in the winter. And Van Alphen makes a few little mistakes through there. Plunging downhill, Lucinda Brand. She's not got far to go until she gets the bell. There's Van Alphen on the other side. Gives you an idea just how big this gap is starting to grow. It's almost 40 seconds now. Van Alphen just looking for any sort of help as she grabs onto that netting at the side of the track. It's losing that third place now. Surely someone is going to sign this young rider here. Surely someone is going to see the amount of power that she's actually got. Brand goes through, 1 lap of racing to go. 10 seconds slower that lap. She's yo-yoing a little bit. She's gone 6:49 for the opening section. Then in terms of lap comparisons, a 7:27, 7:25, 7:47, back to a 7:29, now out to a 7:39. Not been a consistent performance here by Brand, which is not unusual. Here in Namur, you make a little mistake, you lose a few seconds. Often on cyclo-cross courses, you see such consistent riding. Van Alphen now at 38 seconds. The final lap of racing. Pisa takes the belt, 1 lap to go for her in 4th place. We're hearing that Yolanda Neff now is in 5th. Good start for the Swiss rider on her return to cyclo-cross. Alpha takes a little bit of air through that section. Trying to find a little bit more speed on the climb. There is Yolanda Neff. Final lap for the Swiss. She's at 1:36 now. She's got about 15 seconds on Inge van der Heide. Zeman over right-hand side with the Annie Bentveld. Park Pizza's face. Telling you how hard this is right now. The Brand said before the start she's not thinking yet about the general classification. There's 11 points between them. There's going to be 1 point between them at the end of this race if we stop right now. often get asked about prize money here. There's prize money allocated for the first 40 places. Massive prize money every week, but 5,000 euros each week for the winner. So you think about Brand, the way she's riding right now. She's heading towards her third World Cup win in not too many weeks. 15,000 euros. She missed one round. And one of the highest paid cyclocross riders in women's cycling. Often those riders will share some of that prize money with her pit crew though. And Alpha just checking over to the right hand side to see what the situation is. Well, Flamanville, this rider got her first podium. If she continues like this, will be her second podium of her career in the World Cup. Big sprint. Pizza's trying to come back. She wants to take that away from her. So Cookney's going to find a little bit of pressure on this last lap. And fast downhill. Monique van Alphen. A bit steady over the top there. You get the sense that she knows that she's just got to maintain second place now. The chances of first are pretty much gone. She's still throwing herself down that descent, isn't she, every single time? Brand onto the bottom of that descent for the final time. Take a look visibly here as we make our way up the cobbles. There's Van Alphen in the background. There's Brand just continuing to ride away. And indeed Cookney round the corner. Oh, Pizza has a little bit of a problem getting her feet back into the pedals. Has to kick the mud out of them. Sliding left and right through there. And the left is only 28 seconds behind. Cookney's now only 14 seconds behind second place on this course. So Monique van Alphen needs to keep pushing. Brand safely through the adverse camber section for the final time. Over 50 minutes of racing have gone. They're starting to close up a little bit. If this rider catches the rider in front, Lucinda Brand will be the World Cup leader. Put on the pedals through there. Brand onto this horrible section for the final time. Grabbing the netting just to see if she can get a little bit of help up that hill. Monique van Alphen under a little bit of pressure now. There's the gap. Alvarado still riding strongest through that camber. 26.8 seconds. That entire section. Look at that for technique. But Pizza trying to stay high. This is the front of the race. And Alpha checks over her shoulder. Sets herself for the drop-off. Does that very carefully. Make sure she doesn't make a mistake. Lucinda Brand is getting ready for another big victory. What a ride. Another exquisite performance. Led from start to finish almost. Lucinda Brand, 5th time winner in Namur. That was all business for Lucinda Brand today. Made it look very, very easy.
Oh, it's not fair. Yeah.
What a ride by Lucinda Brand. Coming in then to take second place. The World Cup leader is still the World Cup leader. Aniek van Alphen checks over her shoulder. Second place for her today. 45 seconds down. And this rider is one of the revelations of this World Cup so far. Another podium finish for the French champion. Amandine Fouquenet, third place.